Going back to the first WrestleMania, where it's WrestleMania 35, I know you get to know Mr. T a little bit, and you were around Cyndi Lauper. What did you think about those two that pretty much were the face of what was called the Rock and Wrestling Connection in 1985?
Well, what I remember about Mr. T, first of all, I did his portrait.
Did you?
I did his portrait. Number two thing I remember about him, me and Chief Jay Strongboat had to hold him back that night in Los Angeles for beating up David Schultz. Because David Schultz, Vince, after the slap of the news reporter.
John Stossel.
Yeah, they wasn't booking the kid no more. They never booked him again after that. That ended his career. So he would come to the match. He came to one match in L.A. You know, he's a tough guy, you know. So he wanted, Mr. T was working an angle with Hogan or Piper or somewhere, and he just got mad at Mr. T because he wasn't a wrestler. He said something to T, and T got all swollen up and everything, and me and Chief Strongboat and all of us, we had to hold T back. And then what they did with David Schultz, and David would tell you this too, the cop handcuffed him. And they handcuffed his hand behind his back, and then they handcuffed his hand to his feet.
Really?
Yeah, it was like they lay on the floor. And he would say, "You think this effing funny, don't you? You think this, yep." And then
who said that, Schultz?
Schultz, because they had him handcuffed, and then Vince wouldn't come out, and then they took David Schultz out, put him in the police car, and took him out the building.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, after the conversation we had not too long ago about Brian Blair, I almost hate to bring this up, but David Schultz, did you have issues with him in the past?
No.
No, with you and Rocky Johnson?
Not in my knowledge.
Really? All right, well.
No, me and David got along good.
Did you have an easy working relationship with him?
Yeah,
really?
I got pictures of me and him wrestling. I got to bring some next time. Me and David had good matches. I had no problem with David.
That's not how he described it, but I don't know if it was a problem with a finish or something in the program you and Rocky disagreed with. And he said, well, in the interview, he said you were going to do it his way, and there wasn't much you two could do about it.
The one thing
Does
about
that ring
Rocky,
a bell?
The thing about me and Rocky, you can check this for yourself. I always said, when me and Rocky got the belt, we may have teamed up. Now, that's the truth. You could check it. Mm-hmm. Maybe 4 or 5 times.
That is accurate. You didn't team much as champions.
We
you were
had
often
that many matches.
Singles on different tours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what SD would say. SD said, why they make y'all tag team champions never book you guys together? We were never booked together. We was together when we won it. We were together when we lost it. And then we had one match, I remember, on TV in Canada. And then we was in a tag match with Andre once.
A 6-man, yeah.
6-man with Andre once. That's about it. Maybe 5 matches in the whole time we had it in 8 months.
I didn't think David Schultz was going to come up today, or I would have tried to write down a few quotables. But
yeah, no, me and David, I never had no problem with
really?
David. No.
Well.
No, David didn't give nobody no problem.
Nobody he didn't give anyone any problems.
Nobody would mess with him. He was crazy. He was tough as hell. Who going to mess with David Schultz? You didn't mess with him. He didn't bother you.
Were you at Madison Square Garden the night that he slapped John Stossel?
I almost did it myself.
Really? Why is that?
Because Vince came in the dressing room and said somebody should slap that guy. He's running around talking about wrestling and fake. He didn't tell David to do it.
He planted the seed.
Yeah, he said somebody should slap that guy.
He planted the seed,
and
watered the plant.
And I was sitting there. We were sitting there. And then David got up. Next thing I know, he slapped him.
If he didn't have the altercation with Mr. T a couple of months later, do you think he would have had a longer run in WWE?
No, after that slap, he was done.
Well, I think the Mr. T incident happened in February of...
Where the guy started to sue.
Okay, so once he filed the lawsuit is when they got rid of him. I got you. See, I didn't even think about it.
The guy was going to sue for it. See, normally when wrestlers used to slap guys, that was it.
Right.
The guy took his medicine and left. That was it.
This was a media guy.
And that's why I don't like talking all these old stories about certain people.
Underground Atlanta.
Unless it's flattering.
Okay. You don't think that story was flattering? No, all
right. Nothing flattering about getting stood up. You know,
Mr. T on TV was a badass, a legit badass from the A-Team and other Hollywood endeavors that he had. Yeah. Was Mr. T in real life a tough guy?
Tougher in real life than on TV.
Really? Now, see, Roddy Piper kind of made it sound just the opposite. You've read the book. Did you not?
Yeah, but you know, Piper couldn't beat no T.
I know nothing about Mr. T's background. He could have been a legit badass for all I know. He could be all smoke and no sizzle for all I know. I do know, I think he had an amateur wrestling background, though, didn't he?
He was just tough. He was just tough. You see, this is what wrestlers used to do in the olden days. It's a work.
Right.
Not just the wrestling part, the words too.
Their life turns into a work
It's
almost.
a work. So he did not want the fans to think that Mr. T is tougher than him.
Right.
You know, if you talk to a wrestler back in my day, he's the toughest thing walking the face of the earth. We do it every day on the interview.
Right.
You know?
I think Piper, until about a year before he died, was still trying to convince fans that wrestling was a shoot. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know Piper. He wasn't all that tough. I know him very well.
You think if that boxing match they had at WrestleMania 2 turned ugly, it would have been Mr. T that came out on top?
Of course. Would have killed him.
Fair enough. What about Cyndi Lauper? Did you get a chance to interact with her at all?
Yep, Cyndi Lauper was very... In fact, I had a picture of me and Cyndi Lauper together.
Did you?
Yeah. And she was always nice to the wrestlers, her and Wendy Richter, but she was a sweetheart. All the guys loved Cyndi Lauper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the guys loved her, yeah.
Were you a fan of her music when she came in?
Not really.
Why not?
I'm into country and western.
You didn't like Girls Want to Have Fun?
I'm into country and western. I'm a hillbilly. Now you play some David Allan Cole, some Willie Nelson, some Merle Haggard. You know, you got me jumping down, kid.
You've always got you on my mind.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. I like. I was raised on country music.
Do they play it up in Maine where you live? Or is
No.
it hard to find? No.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got one station, 99.9.
Do you listen to that when you're on your way here to the studio?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I like rhythm and blues. The old song, like Temptation.
You like the blues?
Yeah. Percy Sledge is my favorite.
Well, see, we're learning a little bit more about the person behind Tony Atlas in this episode.
Let me wrap you in my warm and tender love. Yeah. Let me wrap you in my warm and tender love.
I know someone you're not going to sing that to down in
That's
Florida.
how it was in my day, brother.
All right, baby.
Yeah, you get the little shot looker there, and nice pretty girl, and put on a little Persian slate. Oh, Barry White. Oh my God.
Let's get it on, baby.
No, Barry White was a man for the bedroom, brother.
Really?
You put a little Barry White on.
Little thump.
Yeah, a little Kodiak.
What was your
We
drink
ain't need
back
no
then?
Viagra, none of that stuff then. No pot, none of that. Barry White, little Kodiak, hey, all
Little
night
Kodiak.
long. All night long.
Tony.
All night long.
Well, you didn't have any Robert Kraft in you,
No,
baby. No,
baby.
You didn't need
It
to
was
pull
all
out the
night long.
$59.
It was on.
No.
You know, we wasn't into the cell phones and stuff like that.
You didn't need the text
No,
while
we
you were
didn't need
listening
to
to
text. We
Barry
had nothing
White.
to text then. There was no texting, you know.
Back to the Cyndi Lauper and Mr. T. Do you think, in your opinion, as someone that lived through the era, was there one of the two of them that meant more to WWF than the other, or do you think they were of equal value?
I was just Cyndi.
You think Cyndi had more value?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people understand nowadays just how hot she was as a singer
She was
back
over.
then.
She was
I think she was number
yeah,
one
she was
for
like
a long
Prince or Michael Jackson or Elvis or somebody.
Yeah.
She was, she was big. And you know, she came out at the right time too. Time and everything. She came out with MTV, just started
Right,
video
right.
music.
Everybody watched
and that's
MTV
right. She
then.
was right at the beginning of that. But before you would hear the musician, but the only way you could see him perform is in a concert. So MTV came along with these music videos. And now you could sit in your home and watch these guys. You didn't have to hear them. You could see them performing, which was a phenomenon. And she hit it right at the right time. And that's why a lot of these rappers got big during the time, like Public Enemy and all them guys, because of the music video. Now MTV don't do music videos no more.
No, it's anything but music a lot of the time.
Yeah, you know.
I lost my train of thought there for a second. Believe me, that
I
actually
was on
happens.
the first True Life program.
That is one, we're going to have to do an episode
The
about
very
that sometime.
first one. A True Life I'm a Pro Wrestler.
I remember that.
That was the first True Life program they ever did.
Did you ever find the coffee can where you hid your money?
Yeah, I found it to pay the wrestlers.
Oh, Tony, I tell you something. You are a gem in the king of sports, professional wrestling. Do you think WWE maybe missed the boat as far as MTV went? They had a few live specials for Madison Square Garden on there. MTV was white hot with that key demographic you're talking about, from the teenagers into the mid-30s. I guess from what I've been told by different people, MTV felt they deserved a piece of WWF. And when they went to WWF and said that, Vince McMahon said, well, we think we deserve a piece of MTV because of the ratings we're bringing you. And that kind of dissolved the relationship. Do you think it would have helped WWF even more, as hot as they were in the mid-'80s, if they kept that relationship going?
It would have helped MTV more.
Than WWF?
Yeah, they would have got more out of it than Vince.
Well, WWF maybe looked at it from the point of view in May of '85, about 6 weeks after the first WrestleMania.
Because WWE is bigger now than what it was in the 80s.
Right. Well,
MTV is smaller.
Good point. Good point.
They didn't go up. You know, you got VHS, you know. See, what made them, they don't do no more.
Right. Music.
They doing stories on pregnant teenagers.
Right.
Who in the effing want to sit around all day long, watch a pregnant woman bitch and complain about it to her husband all day long? What entertainment is that? They
need you as the host.
I mean, you get freaking depressed watching MTV.
I know,
now.
right? Some of those reality shows.
I mean, all the reality shows are, it's just all drama, 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 drama. I mean, you know, you got they're exporting kids, 15 and 16-year-old teen pregnancy.
Yeah,
and what they go through as a team, and they think this is a great thing, is ridiculous.
It is.
They should show stuff where teenagers are moving up. What they should have done, see, the same thing it takes to get something, it takes the same thing to keep it. And what made MTV was music video.
It was the name of the channel, music television.
And they got rid of it. And they try to go too much with the reality. Here's the reason why.
Cheaper.
Not only that, no actor union.
Right.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at Bayonne High School Gym in Bayonne, New Jersey, Friday, March the 13th, 1983. In the opening contest, Yoshiaki Yatsu battled Johnny Rodz to a draw. The Moondogs with the win over S.D. Jones and Rick McGraw. Stan Hansen defeated Dominic DeNucci. WWF Tag Team Champion Tony Gurria victorious over Hulk Hogan via disqualification. WWF Tag Team Champion Rick Martel beat Baron Mikel Cicluna. WWF Intercontinental Champion Pedro Morales retained the title over the Hangman. And in the main event, Andre the Giant defeated Sergeant Slaughter. If you were in Bayonne live, share your memories in the comments section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep Wrestling Legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.